Yo, welcome to the Cloud Ninja Podcast. This is your boy Nino, joined by Ryzen, our unofficial co-host. Thank you for joining me, bro.
Hey,
This
what's
is
good?
just a quick podcast. If you want to join, the link is pinned in the chat. If you want to join in on a discussion. But yeah, so we're going to talk more about the TVV Chapter 27 spoilers because yeah, I had to drop out the podcast. I was messed up. So yeah. And by the way, I also want to announce that I don't be fucked up. I have anxiety issues. And when my anxiety kick my ass, I have to take a fucking Xanax and that shit messes you up. I don't know if anybody ever take that before, but that
Yeah, I can
stuff
relate.
messes you up. Yeah,
I
it
can relate. I,
messes you
I also
up.
suffer from anxiety. I can 100%
Yeah,
relate.
yeah. Like your speech will start slurring. You'll fall asleep. Like it messes you up, but it really helps
100%.
though. Yeah, it helps though. But yeah. So besides that, we got some spoilers that we want to go over again. Ryzen sent me some panels here, and he said he think there's more that we missed on the last podcast. So where do you want to start at, Ryzen?
You know, I find it interesting that Enogen has also become a singularity of fate. I think we kind of glossed over that aspect in let's see, page 20.
Page 20.
Yes,
Okay, let me get to page
21.
21.
21. When he's
21?
talking about how there it
All right.
is. And I find it interesting when Koji confirms that in the future timeline, Himori actually died.
What?
Yes, this is a jutsu that he created to get revenge for Himawari, and I find it really interesting that Inojin was able to come up with a technique
Uh-huh.
that's able to counter an Otsutsuki level threat. I mean, it is a bad timeline, but Koji understand that it was really helpful. So it's basically like with the Boruto situation. He spent 6 years trying to create the Flying Raijin Jutsu, and it was really helpful. But that future needed to be avoided, so he gave him the intel now. And I think Mello asked this yesterday about is it like would it be something similar to the mind transfer jutsu? If you go back to chapter 20, Koji says it's backwards compatible with the mind transfer jutsu. So it seems like it'll 100% be something related to the Yamanaka clan techniques.
So, did he express why Himawari died in that timeline, or he
He
just
was
alluded
really
to it?
vague,
Right.
but we've had multiple times with Himori getting death flags. Like he specifically says that if Himori leaves the village, she'll die,
Mm,
or
true.
if something happens, she'll die. And I feel like we were talking about yesterday how if Himawari will be in the battle, I think she will actually, because he specifically mentions Boruto and Himawari and how the battle has to be in the village or he'll go after them if they move. So if Himawari wasn't going to be in that battle, there's no need to mention her being away from the village. So I
Right.
think we might actually get some Himawari time. I think she'll actually be able to improve her tailed beast techniques,
Of
and she'll be
course.
part of the main team.
Yeah. Because I mean, so since Koji has the ability to pretty much like speed up the process of certain jutsus, and he taught that to Inojin. So did he like kind of explain what the ability is and like the mechanics behind it, or was he vague in that point too? Because
He
I
was
didn't really
vague,
get to.
but he gave us some useful information.
Mhm.
He said it's backwards compatible with the mind transfer jutsu, meaning that it
Right.
has to be some type of mind technique. And we're fighting a threat who has basically drones. So I don't know if you watched. Did you ever watch CW Flash?
Yeah, I watched the Flash. I didn't finish it though.
You only need to watch the first season.
Yeah, I watched the first
So
season.
do you remember that one dude who could clone himself?
Yes.
And you remember how Caitlyn grew one, and it was basically a drone. And then when it got activated, it wanted to go where its original was, where the others were.
Right.
So in my mind, Mamoshi's ability functions the same way because if you split one up, they'll instinctively want to go to where they're all gathered to.
Right.
So I feel like if it's backwards compatible with the mind transfer jutsu, what does the mind transfer jutsu does? It allows you to take over a person's body, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, like we were theorizing yesterday, it might be something where he can take over multiple bodies at once. I feel like that's my going theory right
So
now.
instead of like the traditional where they can only have one target, he can choose multiple targets to control their bodies.
Yes. I feel like that would be really
That would
interesting.
be OP.
Or even something to where, because Mamushi is dealing with that low IQ when he splits himself, it could be something subliminal. Like how we saw Mamushi giving orders to the others. Inojin could, on the flip side, try to give orders to those Jones and just have them knock their eyes out.
Is Mamushi's ability, because I remember before we was talking about his abilities, but it was kind of like an educated guess from fans, and it was saying like he can control people. He can mimic people's abilities. He can do some other sorts of things. I can't remember off the top of my head. So he splits himself kind of like a shadow clone jutsu, right?
Yes.
Okay, so when I was doing a little research, forgive me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. This was a while ago when I did the research. When Naruto does shadow clones, he split his chakra between each shadow clone. But the only reason why his shadow clones was so strong was because Naruto had like a crazy amount of chakra.
Yes.
In order for those shadow clones to be strong. So is that the same thing when it comes to Mamushi? Is he splitting his chakra between the other vessels, or are they just as strong as him?
So they're actually just as strong. So I feel like it's not confirmed that it's a Shinjutsu, but it kind of feels like a Shinjutsu version of shadow clones or just any other clone technique where they're just pale imitations. Because he still has, if I had to compare it, it's literally Duplicate or Multipole from Invincible, where they're basically all the clones. Like if you kill the original and there's still a clone, that's the real them.
Invincible. When did this happen in Invincible? The dude with the big brain?
Not the dude with the big brain. So you know, what's her name? Duplicate, Kate, the one who can clone herself.
Oh, okay. I'm
and then her brother.
Okay, yeah.
So that's basically the power. The only difference is the more he clones himself, the dumber he gets, and the more pain he feels. So each Mamushi is just as strong. The only difference is they're kind of all Mamushi. So if you kill every one of them, you leave one. That's basically Mamushi. There's no necessarily real original.
Got you.
There did seem to be one that was smarter than the others that was giving them commands, but so far it seems they're all Mamushi. So I'm really interested to see how Inojin deals against Mamushi. And you know, I feel like I'm gonna piss off a few Shippuden fans right now. But it's funny because the whole motif of TBV is love, right?
Yes, yeah.
And Jura right now is studying love and how that seems to hinder Shinobi, but also empower Shinobi.
Right.
Inojin almost got clapped by Jura. Himori tapped into a brand new power source through love. Sarada did the same thing with her Mangekyo Sharingan. And you have all these Shinobi being empowered through love. And it goes back to the Land of Waves arc in Naruto, where if you have someone to protect, that's where you become truly strong. And it sort of negates what Kawaki's thinking about how ninjas aren't able to handle these new threats. And I also find it interesting that where they do lose their loved ones, like Inojin lost Himawari in Koji's future. And he buckled down and was able to invent a jutsu that could take down an Otsutsuki level threat. But what I find interesting, it seems like it's only the new gen that's tapping into these newer sources of power and not the old gen. So I feel like there's a clear divide between them, because you don't have Koji saying, Boruto, I need you to go hit up Rock Lee. He invented a new variation of the 8 Gates. We need that.
Right.
And I find it really interesting that the new gen is able to like think outside of the box and think outside of the norm and just invent these abilities, just like how Sumire also got a new technique. Then Boruto even
maybe
says,
maybe the, maybe the Ojin can't learn those techniques because that's not in their repertoire. Like Kashin Koji, he, like you said, it's all about love. It was about people who, most of the characters who unlocked like certain abilities was through loss or some type of love. Like Sarda, like she didn't. Well, she lost old girl who doesn't matter, but she lost her, but she really didn't play any significant role in her life, like as if she would have lost Boruto or something like that. Whereas you have Himawari and you have Inojin. Inojin, it's been alluded to that he has a crush um, on Himawari. So seeing her die, that may, unlock some type of jutsu. Now, if I'm understanding correctly, he created this jutsu after she died, right? It
yes,
wasn't nothing like a jutsu that can save her or something like that. Like she was gone.
yes, he wanted revenge, basically.
Okay, got it. Got it. Yeah. So that's like a driving force, though. Like that's a driving force for him to seek revenge. He most likely did all he could to get to a point where he is able to like contest with Osuski threats. Like, for instance, if they like in that timeline, they don't show you the full capacity of what happened. Inojin could have been like a damsel in distress, pretty much. Like he had no way to contest with whatever threat killed Himawari, obviously, because she died. So in his mind, he wanted to gain the strength so that never happened again.
100%. And it's interesting to see all these catalysts. And we don't
Mm,
know how long it took Inojin to invent this technique.
right.
Because in Boruto's case with the Flying Raijin, it took him 6 years. So he
Yeah.
was damn near 19 when he died.
Right.
And I just find it really interesting that all these new gen characters seem to have catalysts, like Sumire. She now has a technique that Boruto even says that this is the best technique in its class, like in its scientific class, to where
What
he's
page is
alluding
that?
to let's see, it is page 30 37. And like we know she's been studying under Amado and she's been researching stuff. And
Right.
right now, in my mind, it feels like it's being alluded to that she's been studying Kawaki. Because in the future, flash forward, we have Boruto using his sword. Suka Hikona would normally be able to shrink that sword. If he's using that sword, it makes me think that Sumire invented this technique specifically for Boruto to combat Kawaki. And it's
Mm.
really interesting that he thinks that this sword, or Koji thinks that the sword upgrade will be enough to help the future out. And it just makes me think about the new gen being able to sort of think outside of the box. Because the old gen, until we see Koji include them in on a plan, and for now it's only been Shikamaru, but it feels like the old gen is kind of tapped out on creativity, is what I want to say. Because
Or a lot of them could be gone. I
that is
mean,
true.
yeah.
That is 100% true also. Because it feels like when you're younger, you're able to think a lot more about like different things and how to create things, and it makes me think,
You're more creative at that,
yes,
yeah, that younger age. Yeah.
because you have Inojin expanding the mind transfer jutsu, something that Ino never
Couldn't
really
do.
did.
Yeah.
All Ino kind of did was just learn more advanced techniques from her clan.
Hmm.
But then we have Inojin through a catalyst creating a technique that can rival Otsutsuki level of powers, supposedly.
I
To
mean,
the
but
point
at the
where,
same time, though, like, Ino, she learned the mind transfer jutsu from her clan. And
yes,
like you said, she advanced it. So it could be the same thing with Inojin. Inojin was taught from his mom, who was taught from her clan, and he found out ways to enhance his mind transfer jutsu just like Ino did, but in a more
100%.
advanced way. Yeah. So yeah, he had a foundation to build upon. So he could, learn how to expand what he already has in his repertoire.
100%. And I feel like that goes back to original Naruto. Because what did Naruto say in Boruto in the beginning? They're still inexperienced, but they're gonna, at the end of the day, they might all surpass them. When the Kages were, when the Tsuchikage was saying they're just not up to stuff. They can't handle it, and she's scared for them. Naruto said no. He believes that this type of peace will allow them to train and get better and make bonds and surpass them. And it goes back to what Kakashi said when he was fighting Kakuzu. One by one, the new generation will always surpass him. And it feels like Inojin is surpassing his mom. So we're having these new gen kids surpass their predecessors. And you know,
except Metal Lee.
Except Metal Lee, yes. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I was talking with my friend this morning about the chapter, and my friend said he doesn't want to see Rock Lee like on a team.
I love Rock Lee, man.
And it's funny because it feels like, unfortunately, at least in the manga, Rock Lee, Metal Lee isn't really part of that immediate friend group. So where he was only really shown twice in the manga, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I really hope the anime does show us a bit more, just to like round out the cast, because you know we still want to see what Denki Niwabi's been doing for 3 years. At least I do. At least I don't know about
I do.
The other people
I do
watch. Too. I just find it really interesting because a lot of people get hung up when you say the new gen surpasses the old gen, but we have to realize that each character has their own role. Yeah. So like if Inojin's the new Ino, that means he surpassed his predecessor.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't necessarily mean he surpassed Kaguya or Madara or Obito.
Yeah, exactly.
It just means he surpasses new gen. I feel like it's the same argument with Madara and Hashirama. There are people stronger than Madara and Hashirama, but that doesn't mean every person in the new gen surpasses. It just means as a whole.
Yeah.
It just means as a whole, the new gen is better than the old gen.
Yeah, like
so
Tenten ain't taking on Madara.
Exactly. It just means as a whole, Boruto's generation or Naruto's generation are better than Madara and Hashirama. Yeah. Back then, you only had a handful of named shinobi. You have a ton of shinobi in Naruto and Boruto. It doesn't mean they're all 1-to-1. Like every person in the new gen is gonna beat the old gen. It just means as a whole, they're at a higher level.
Mm-hmm.
As a whole, the support ninjas surpass the past support ninjas. It doesn't mean this support ninja is gonna beat Hashirama. I feel like that's what people tend to forget.
Yeah.
When they talk, so too. And I get it, you know, Madara is a fan favorite, Hashirama is a fan favorite. But we also gotta understand that the whole point of why Madara failed is because he didn't leave it to the new gen. Hashirama even told him they have to rest. They should let the new generation take over. I feel like this has always been the lesson with Naruto, where, yeah, would I like to see Naruto do a Dragon Ball Z and get more power-ups? Sure. I grew up with Naruto. I love Naruto.
I mean, he did, but I get what you're saying.
But, like, yeah, we have to understand that some of these characters it's not in their character to, like, train like Goku. Like, Goku's one main goal is, I want to get stronger. With Sasuke, for example, he knew that his role at the end of the day was to get Boruto ready. He even said that Sarada is who you need. She's the one who you need. Her Mangekyo Sharingan will be the catalyst of helping you in the future. And I feel like with Koji confirming that, we got to understand that the old gen did their role. And I feel like it fits with like what the third Hokage did. Like, I know people hate the third Hokage. And, you know, I'm the type of person to hate on Hiruzen most of the time. But he did do his job. He took care of Orochimaru temporarily, and he allowed the new gen of that time to be able to get stronger, to train for 2.5 years, and be able to stall. Same thing with Sasuke and Naruto. They took care of Ishiki and bought the new gen a bit of time, with Boruto saying, yeah, we can't rely on my dad anymore. He doesn't have Kurama. We can't really use him as a crutch. We got to stand up on our own.
Right.
You even have Sarada and Mitsuki. I feel, by the way, I feel sad for Mitsuki. I feel like he needs to get his character arc soon. That's like a whole other conversation.
I wonder why Kashin Koji didn't like try to help him advance as well.
I feel like because Koji is playing chess, he needs to utilize all his pieces carefully.
Yeah, right.
So I feel like it's not his time yet. So, like, for example, with the Sumire and Inojin stuff, just wasn't their time. He had to focus on Sarada and like
Right, right.
getting
I understand.
Matsuri back. So I feel like we can't go rushing in with all the power ups. He even tells Boruto that if too many people know about the future,
Hmm.
his information becomes moot because it becomes useless until he updates his prescience.
Right.
So right now we gotta move slow. So right now it feels like each character is getting their development slowly.
When it's needed, basically.
Exactly. And I feel like it's funny because people were saying that Sumire wasn't being utilized at all. And then surprise, surprise, next chapter, she's being utilized. I just feel like it becomes an issue of it being monthly and people wanting high expectations of like wanting all the info now
Hmm.
when
Yeah.
everyone has their time to shine at some point. We went through Sarada's character development. We went through Inojin and Sumire's now. We might have Himawari. Kaoki is cooking on the side. You know, he's Amp Man supposedly, so he's cooking on the side. But I gotta hand it to Ikamoto. I was the kind of person who hated Inojin. I had him on my death list to be honest, but he did a complete 180. Like
Yeah.
he became him. Like the Jura statement, you know, that's kind of funny, but I feel like he grew into his own, and I hope to see other side characters grow into their own. What do you think? What side character do you want to see get like a power up or get like some development?
Character I would like to see get to power ups and development. I never thought about that one because Inojin threw me for a loop. Um,
100%.
if I would have to say, I would probably say like Shikadai.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, Shikadai, because he's the only one that's pretty much like manga canon at this point. And I'm just thriving off of that. So yeah, like Shikadai, like he can learn some type of advanced not shadow, shadow possession jutsu or
I agree. And you know, I hope we do see more of Shikada because I feel like an amped up shadow possession would work 100% for these clones. And I just really want to see where Ikamoto takes this because they have their sensei back. So I feel like
Mhm.
they have to have different goals in mind. We know Inojin has Himawari in mind.
Right.
So that just leaves Chocho and Shikadai in a bit of a limbo, which I hope gets rectified soon. Like I understand not every side character can get their chance to shine,
Hmm.
but I do want to see them actually get their moment because as far as I know, I don't think Chocho's ever used her butterfly mode in the manga.
No,
So
I don't think she has
it,
either. And somebody said it's Chocho not canon. Yeah, she's canon.
so even though the anime and manga are parallel storylines, I want to see if her butterfly mode functions any differently in the manga, and if
Right.
she worked on it in the time skip. Because we know she has butterflies on her new cloak, so it would be implied that she has it. It would feel weird if she doesn't. I just really
Oh,
want to see them go beyond, to be
yeah,
honest.
that's what I was gonna say. I want to see her with like some type of butterfly mode, maybe a butterfly mode that's like enhanced with something else. Like for instance, like Sasuke when he uses the arrows or something like that. Like just something additional to her butterfly mode that's effective.
Yes, and I think we're all waiting for Mitsuki, and you know Mitsuki will get his time to shine. I feel like for Mitsuki to happen, I kind of want them to bring in Orochimaru because I feel like he's underutilized right now,
Mm, yes.
and I feel like it would go full circle if Mitsuki goes to Orochimaru because if we think about it, Orochimaru didn't think Mitsuki could be a son. That's why he assigned Boruto basically to Mitsuki when he gave him the Boruto file.
Right.
Now we have Boruto saying that Mitsuki can really stand on his own, kind of disproving what Orochimaru said. So I feel like Mitsuki just needs a big catalyst to shine, and I'm really interested to see on how his character development could go.
Yeah, me as well. Because it's like it's been a plot point. Like they're revisiting now, but at the end of the day, we don't know what the hell that means. Like my moon and my sun. I mean, unless you know, but as far as I've been watching the series, I have no idea what any of that means. Like, why is he looking for his son? Like,
I feel like it's symbolism for purpose
mm,
because in his mind, without Boruto, he's really empty as a person,
mhm,
and really, Boruto's the only thing that gave him purpose. It gave him friendship. It gave him something to use his strength for.
right.
And then we have Boruto basically wanting to stand on his own because we've seen how Mitsuki kind of got warped without a true son. He became darker, kind of. He became more bloodlusted.
Hmm.
So I feel like we need a moment for where Mitsuki can just stand on his own. And I feel like that's when he'll truly be strong. Like he can understand that, yeah, Boruto's my friend. But at the end of the day, I have to live for myself also and be able to create purpose in my life. And I feel like we've seen some hints. We've seen Mitsuki. I completely glossed over this until it was pointed out to me. But we actually see a frame of Mitsuki in this chapter.
What page do you
Page
know?
35.
Page 35. Hold on a second. There you go. Okay, yeah, I see him right here.
And it's really interesting. I feel like Ikamoto's hinting at it, but I think Mitsuki just needs to cook for a bit more.
Hmm. I didn't see this panel. What's going on here?
So this is where Boruto's explaining his sword style.
Mhm.
So do you remember back in the flashback in chapter 5 where Sasuke and Boruto were fighting Code?
Yeah,
And you saw how Boruto's original sword was broken, but Sasuke's wasn't.
yeah.
It wasn't necessarily because Sasuke was stronger. It was because Sasuke was more focused. So how the Uchiha sword style works is Boruto's constantly channeling his chakra into his sword,
Hmm.
and that prevents his sword from basically getting dull or basically broken.
I thought that's what Sasuke was doing as well, though. Like he was infusing which
Exactly
what?
what he was doing. That's
Yeah.
exactly what he was doing. It just shows how different Sasuke's level of mastery is.
Mm.
Sasuke, even though he's weaker than Code, he was able to keep his focus to where Code couldn't break his sword.
Right,
So
right,
it's not.
right.
So Jura cracking Boruto's sword wasn't because Jura was stronger, even though he is stronger. It
Yeah.
was because Boruto lost focus. So,
Mm.
he said it for a split second. He lost focus, and that's why Jura was able to crack his sword. If he didn't lose focus, his sword would have never cracked.
Bad time to lose focus.
Exactly. So what he's doing is Koji, he big brained everything again.
Mhm.
He found out that Sumire invented some sort of technique that could fix the sword and amp it up.
Mm.
And it seems to be a scientific ninja tool, which is why I said this new gen can really think outside the box because he's basically saying she invented something that Amado couldn't make, Orochimaru couldn't make, or nor Katasuki could make.
That's dope.
And
One thing that I always like complain about is like I thought that the scientific ninja like portion of the story was just like something they dropped, like they brought up. It was a cool idea, and then they didn't go anywhere with it. So
100%.
yeah,
We've always had it to an extent, but it's always been on the villain side of things. Like Kawaki, Scientific
yeah,
Ninja Tool,
yeah.
Kara. Now we're actually going back to Boruto's roots, which I know people have some iffy feelings about the Scientific Ninja Tools, but at the end of the day, we gotta remember the original thought process for the story was where does science fit in the ninja world, or where does the modern day shinobi fit in a world of science now? And I'm glad Boruto's going back to that because, and I'll share this right now. If we go back, one of Boruto's key character development was learning that not all scientific ninja tools are bad. It's how you use
Hmm.
them.
Yeah.
And it goes back to Sasuke's lesson to him. Hang on, let me just find the chapter real quick. Let's see, where is it? I think it's the AO arc, the AO arc. I always butcher his name.
Yeah, I'll You said Sasuke explained something to him in
Yeah,
this portion of
exactly.
it? Okay.
Do you remember when Naruto used this his new prosthetic arm to absorb Boruto's
Yeah, yeah.
water style, and then he got
When
mad,
hmm
and then Sasuke had to teach him to it. He had to teach the tool itself isn't bad; it's how you use it. Boruto used it in a circumstance where he wasn't supposed to use it,
yeah,
but in a
using hmm
oh, no, you can continue.
no, I was just saying he was using it in tuning exams where it was supposed to base off their skills. Yeah,
Exactly,
yeah.
but it isn't inherently bad. If you're using it as a crutch, it's bad. But if you're just using it as a tool,
hmm
it's a good thing. And it goes back to Itachi's even Itachi's lesson that Uchihas used the Sharingan as a crutch. At the end of the day, it's still just a tool. And if you become strong, it'll only help you. But you
Right.
can't just use it as a crutch. Like Kawaki. Sorry to all my Kawaki fans, but Kawaki is kind of using Amado as a crutch. He's going for the quick power amps, which, now you really have no choice. But training as a shinobi, ironically, would have helped him out.
hmm
Because we have Boruto saying, yeah, you could have reached this level of power, even limited,
If you trained.
and then getting your limiters removed would have only greatly helped you even more. But
Right.
they don't have time for that, so quicker is better.
Right.
But I
Yeah.
just find it. Oh no, continue.
No. Well, you go ahead.
I just really find it interesting that on the flip side, we have people proving Kawaki's pure power situation wrong, because you have Inojin, Sumire, Sarada. They're all rising to the challenge. They're all proving Naruto right that the ninja world will always have people who will rise up to that challenge, and the power levels will grow in context with the threat. They needed to figure out how to fight these Otsutsuki level threats, and they're creating pretty crafty techniques where even though they're not physically at that level, they can level the playing field. And at the end of the day, that's how shinobi work.
Yeah, that's
And I
true.
and I have it right here. Do you see it?
Oh, hold on. Let me bring it up. 1 second. There you go.
And then we have Boruto. He learned this lesson a long time ago. Like, I don't care how it works. You cheated. You used the scientific ninja tools. Sasuke
Yeah.
said, I thought you'd mature a bit, but nobody said the tool itself was wrong. The key is how one uses it. And then that's the lesson Boruto had to learn. We have to remember that this was the original lesson he needed to learn after learning what it meant to be a shinobi.
hmm
Now he's actually using that lesson. He's going to Sumire. Sumire studied for 3 years with Amado. She learned everything that she could potentially about Kawaki. And
Right.
it goes back to the flash forward fight where Boruto is using Sasuke's sword against Kawaki.
hmm
And one of the main questions was, why is he using the sword? Suka Hikona can shrink that thing into an inch.
Yeah.
And
True.
we gotta remember that Sumire loves Boruto. She,
Right.
even though she's civil with Kawaki, she understands Kawaki wants to kill Boruto. So it's not out of the realm of the possibility that she would invent tools to be able to combat Kawaki. And I'm really interested to see what she does to the sword. Like, I don't know about you, but I wonder if you have any ideas like what the sword could be like. I think Mello said it could be like the Seven Ninja Swordman tools, and I feel like that could definitely be possible. I just really wonder what she could have invented, and I feel like part of me hates that we got spoilers so early because I just want the next chapter now.
Facts. Me personally, it most likely has to do something with Sumire. Um, because Sumire, I forget how the whole thing, but it was like something about Kaguya or something like that.
Yeah,
So she,
so New Way.
yes, yeah, Nue could have been the reason why she invented the sword, like infused some of his chakra or whatever
You know what?
power basically.
A
Yeah,
friend of mine had the same idea because Nue can absorb chakra, so she could have just literally imbued some
mm,
of Nue's chakra into the sword,
right.
and that could be the reason why she's the only one who could do it. And yeah, that's a really interesting idea. 'Cause we haven't really got Nue in the manga, even though it's a core aspect
Right.
of Sumire's character.
I think she was learning how to control Nue at the same time.
Yes,
So
100%.
that could be a big part of it as well.
And, I just feel like this is the pivot point because, and I could 100% be wrong on this, but I think we'll have one more omnipotence after this arc. I really see Ada potentially getting taken out. I'm sorry to all my Ada fans. I feel like the fact that they're bringing up the immunity to omnipotence now, I feel like since she wants to talk with Boruto, I feel like she'll give him back his loved ones. I feel like that's the middle ground we'll come to. I feel like she'll subconsciously wanna help her friends now that she
Mhm.
actually has true friends. I feel like she will undo omnipotence to an extent, and we'll get a Team Boruto and Team Kawaki situation. Like
Yeah, let's talk about that as well. Hold on. Continue your thought. I want to talk about something else next. Continue your thought. I'm so sorry.
no, you can continue. My last thought was gonna be, I feel like Ada will be gone. I feel like
Oh yeah,
if
for
we
sure.
undo omnipotence fully, we lose that political war arc because then they're just all focused on Kawaki.
Hmm.
But if she just tries to help Boruto in her own misguided way, to where she subconsciously wants to help him, and we get like Shikamaru's immune to omnipotence, Inojin, Himawari, and like Team Boruto, basically friends and family. We get those higher up ninjas on Team Boruto, but we get the village as a whole, the world as a whole, still against Boruto,
Hmm.
which basically causes that civil war. Basically, what Boruto didn't want to happen.
Man, you know what's crazy? We actually talked about this probably like I want to say a year ago.
A
Yeah, I think we talked about this about a year ago about like a possible Konoha Civil War where it'd be I don't think it's the same exact thing premise you brought up, but like the followers of Kawaki and the followers of Boruto.
Yes, that's perfectly explained. And then what
Yeah.
happens when Kawaki gets brought into a corner? It would potentially egg this thing on. That could be the reason why Boruto gets pissed off at Kawaki in the flash forward. Like I never
Yeah.
thought you'd take it this far, because if he
Yeah.
sees people actually going on Team Boruto, he'd feel cornered. Because at the end of the day, even though there's this temporary alliance, he still wants Boruto dead at the end of the day. So he
Right.
can't really have multiple people, especially higher up shinobi, starting to question things. And if they believe, if they're immune to omnipotence now, the big question is going to come out. Boruto, what happened to Naruto and Hinata? Boruto might want to cover Kawaki, but at some point he's going to have to answer that question to fill everyone in. Yeah, they're sealed. Kawaki put them in. He doesn't even have to explain because Shikamaru knows that Naruto and Hinata are safe. They're sealed. So
Yeah.
once that power keg gets lit up, Kawaki will be brought into a corner, and I feel like that's a perfect plot point for a civil war because we have the interrogations now. I feel like that's just, it becomes weird if you gloss that over and you just undo omnipotence to just being against Kawaki. So I feel like we'll reach a middle ground of either friends and family they get immune to omnipotence, or she just dies or gets incapacitated. Because I feel like we can't undo omnipotence right now fully.
Yeah. Yeah, true. I saw yeah, we did this. We talked about this back in 6 months ago actually.
I think you guys might be right. I completely agree 100% because I really think it'll come to that. We've seen inklings of it. We've seen the flames get sparked, and I feel like it's gonna take just one bad day to just spark a whole civil war. Because
Hmm.
now you have Bug showing up or Mamashi. You're gonna potentially have Boruto be in the village again. If you have a bunch of no-name ninjas or just ninjas in general fighting against Mamushi, they're gonna report that Boruto was there fighting. So you're gonna have multiple cases of Boruto showing up and interfering with Leaf Village stuff, and you're gonna have Kobu getting more suspicious.
Yeah, true. And especially the village elders as well.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Hey,
that makes
Ryden.
it
Yo,
Yo, I just got here. Did
okay.
I hop
All right.
on?
Yeah, thanks for hopping on. Hey, I wanted to bring on bring one more thing about the Ada situation. So Ada can release omnipotence on individuals. Like she deliberately didn't
That
put
is way
omnipotence
too
on.
broken.
So
They.
basically,
Mhm.
to explain your question, so she did it by accident. So because she can't control her power operates on what her deepest desire is and just randomly activates. So now we have 3 cases of where her omnipotence activated. So sometime before the series, when she was experimented on, uh, she basically had the average girl dream. She wanted to be loved. So omnipotence took that literally, and it took her deepest desire of wanting to be loved, and it created charm to where everyone's now in love with her.
Right.
But because she's not able to control omnipotence, she can't just remove that. She needs to have that as a desire, and there needs to be some type of catalyst. The second time
Right.
omnipotence activated was when she saw Sumire and Sarada both being in love with Boruto. So in Otsutsuki, like how she's in love with Kawaki.
Mm.
And for a moment, her deepest desire was to have real friends.
Right.
So before she met them,
So
omnipotence activated, and it made them immune to omnipotence, all form of her omnipotence at the bare minimum.
that's why people made all these theories. Oh, why can't they be infected? Why can't they be affected? That's why.
Well, omnipotence can do anything in theory. So it narratively it does make sense, which is why I find it interesting that Momoshiki kind of lied. It makes sense why he would lie, but the fact that you can make people immune to omnipotence means that all other forms of omnipotence gets removed from them. So that's why I think we'll have a middle ground to where she'll have that desire to help Boruto, and potentially his friends and family become immune to omnipotence. But what do you think?
What page is that on, by the way?
Let me pull it up real quick.
Because I was on page where she was hugging him at, and I didn't see any context to it.
And she actually explains why love wouldn't work. Like the people had that love theory. I love
This
the fact
one right
that,
here, right?
that
Oh,
Ikamoto.
I'm not sharing my screen. I'm tripping. Sorry, hold on.
So
I
it
didn't
is
understand my
page-
screen.
It is
I'm just
page
seeing
number
the
4.
Say that again.
Page number 4.
Page number 4. Okay.
Yeah,
hold
and I
on,
love that
hold on.
Ikamoto basically says, "Yeah, it can't be love."
All right, let me go back to page number 4. All right, here we go, right here.
Did you check off anymore?
I'm talking right
So it says, you're not going to kill us, no matter how you think it is strange. Why are you two? Why are the two of you who are not Osusuki unaffected by my omnipotence? And then Sarda, it's because you have had your heart stolen by Boruto, who's an Osusuki. No, that isn't the whole of it. There's plenty of girls in the village who have their hearts and flutter over those two. Yet the only reason you can dodge omnipotence effects is because of that. Then it's strange that there are other girls who are the same. Even still, the two of you remain unaffected. There's only one reason I can think of. And then she says, I must have made an exception for myself for the two of you. Of course, that desire was entirely subconscious. Omnipotence just made it a reality. So basically what she's saying is what I got at the beginning is like anybody who's like in love with Boruto or Kawaki isn't affected, but at the same time I'm kind of confused because she said she made an exception for them, for those two.
So basically what she was saying is if it was just them being in love, then you'd need other girls who would also be immune. Because they're not immune, because there have been so many girls that love Boruto and Kawaki. So if that was the case, they would have been immune. So she said, seeing as that's not the case, the only logical conclusion is she's the one who gave them immunity.
If that was the case, then Chocho would have been immune.
Yeah, because she loved Kawaki, huh? Yeah. Well, I mean,
yeah,
not necessarily. She's just infatuated by him. I don't know if it's love or not.
it becomes an argument of like one-sided love. Like, how would
Right.
that work? So I feel like
Because
it-
Chocho is
the
clearly one-sided.
and even Sarada and Sumire is one-sided because Boruto doesn't really understand that they love him, really. And
I
it just depends
mean,
on what type of love.
Sarah's known Boruto since she was a kid.
Yeah, but at the end of the day,
So I'm pretty sure it's
Boruto.
more like a friendship, but I'm not sure.
But at the end of the day, because Boruto doesn't like recognize their feelings, it's still one-sided. So it becomes like when said infatuation and like other types of love. So I feel like it just makes more sense like with what Ada said because they're the only two who are immune, and other people who quote unquote love the other two aren't immune. The only logical conclusion is she's the one who made them immune with omnipotence.
I could buy that. I can seriously buy that.
And like I think someone said in chat that Boruto potentially still being alive could be because she wants to talk to Boruto. That could also be. I could see it because we know that her omnipotence can activate subconsciously. It's not. It doesn't matter. It doesn't necessarily depend on her like touching the Otsutsuki, like what happened with Kawaki. It just depends on her desire and how strong it is. Her desire was to help Kawaki. That that came into that happened in tandem to Kawaki's desire of wanting Boruto to be an outsider, and then just created the perfect storm. But someone said actually just now, Ada can't use omnipotence without an Otsutsuki. That's actually not true because we've had two cases where she was able to do it without an Otsutsuki. She was able to do it with charm, and she was able to do it now with making them immune. It's just subconscious. It's not a skill she can control. Kawaki was just a perfect storm to where her desire and his desire connected. Ada's deepest desire at that point in time was to help Kawaki.
Yeah,
That
she
connect
even explained that I'm sorry, Rising. She even explained that it's a power she can't control.
exactly. We've had Momoshiki also explain it. We also had Boruto explain how it worked with Kawaki. It just became a perfect storm to where her deepest desire at the end of the day is to help Kawaki. So if Kawaki gets pushed into a corner, omnipotence might happen again. But we've had both cases to where she made Sarada and Sumire immune. There was no Otsutsuki. You could argue that charm was created with Ishiki and Jigen, but Jigen wouldn't have a desire for that.
Right.
That's all Ada's desire. That's omnipotence latching to Ada.
Right.
That's not her necessarily touching Jigen and activating omnipotence in tandem. And
Question.
yes.
Do you think that Koji at some point in time, like how he's given everybody else upgrades, will help her with controlling her omnipotence? Maybe that's the way that it gets
Like give
reversed.
it a switch or something. Like
I feel like
give
at
it
this
like
point,
a
anything
give it like a
is really
switch or
possible.
something.
Like
Hold
Ada could
on,
die,
Paul.
Ada could live. I feel like anything's possible. I feel like if Koji figures out a way, if he sees something in the future about her getting better control, that could 100% happen. My only issue with it is if she gains any control of omnipotence, it kind of tips Boruto's hand because now you have this goddess-like being who could just basically do anything for him now, or even tips the hand to Kawaki. But it could 100% happen. But we know for a fact that she can use omnipotence without an Otsutsuki because even if you don't agree with charm, she used it to make them immune. That had to happen after she was unsealed.
Right.
So we know she can use it by herself. It's just a case by case situation because she can't control it. It's a subconscious thing. The thing if she feels something, if like say tomorrow she said I need Kawaki to become immortal or something or just all powerful. If that desire is strong enough, omnipotence might activate. It's just not a sure thing. It's a risky thing. And I think you brought this up yesterday about how she said about they could do something about omnipotence, but it would be risky because she has no control, and then they're better off just like making new memories. It's a whole monkey spot situation. You can't really rely on it. If it happens, it happens. That's basically it for Ada.
So screwed either way.
you're not necessarily screwed. It's a really unreliable situation, basically. Like you'll either get a good outcome on it or just a bad outcome. It's just something you got to keep your eye on. Like them becoming immune was a good outcome because that's literally what saved Boruto.
I mean, it gave Ada people to talk to. You there, guys? Are you
Yeah,
there?
I'm here.
Yeah, I'm here. Hold on, give me
You
one
guys
second.
went silent for you guys went silent for a couple minutes.
It just depends on what her desire is and how Omnipotence perceives it. So we'll just have to wait and see on future activations for Omnipotence. Right now, it's just super unpredictable. And
I'm so
with
sorry,
the
guys.
with Ada, she also says that she saw them being in love with an Otsutsuki like her. So that could only mean it happened when she was unsealed because we gotta remember Boruto pre her being sealed was not an Otsutsuki. She wouldn't be able to know that. So it has to be something that happened after she was unsealed because she can't see the future like Koji. She can only see the past and present.
Right.
So her making them immune is something that could only happen after she's
If
unsealed.
we
She even
wanted,
says she'll hang on, let me pull up the chapter page.
Yeah, and it's sharing, and I'll pull it up on the screen.
It's page. Hang on, it's page 7. She said that made me so happy. After all, it was something that I always
Share your
wished for,
screen.
even before I met you two in person. Your heart had also been captivated by an Otsutsuki. I don't really get it, but either way, my deepest wish was proper human relationships. So the fact that she took an interest of them because they loved an Otsutsuki means she could have only subconsciously activated Omnipotence after she had been unsealed. Because prior to then, Boruto wasn't an Otsutsuki. There's no reason for her to be watching them pre her getting sealed because she would have no interest in them. Kawaki wasn't even fully Otsutsuki back then. So the only time she could activate Omnipotence is while she was with Code. Because they were already immune when she came to the village. So the buffer point, the buffer zone, is in between her getting unsealed and her going with Amado. That's the timeline we have to when she activated her second Omnipotence. Because prior to then, there's no reason why she would take an interest in any of them because Boruto was just a regular human for the most part while she was still awake.
I hope we get a flashback chapter on her backstory.
Yeah, hold your breath on that one. We only got Kawaki. I mean, it's possible though. It's possible.
And then like someone actually said about the little light show with Omnipotence. We gotta remember
She essentially turned Earth into Saturn.
that was just to show the power activating. If it was something that could always be perceived by everyone, then we would have saw it when Charm happened. We didn't. So
I think that was just because her desire was so strong.
So we gotta understand that's not necessarily something we can like see because that now would just remove the element of surprise. We saw it when it activated in front of us.
Well, not really the element of surprise because they're rewriting everybody's memory. So I mean, you don't know how strong Omnipotence is. They could have forgot that whole event.
Exactly. That's a great point because Omnipotence removes itself from your memories. So even if they saw a light show, we wouldn't know about it because they wouldn't be able to perceive it. They're not immune.
Right. Yeah, so I wanted to ask something. God dang it, I forgot what it was. It was about a certain freaking chapter, a point in a chapter. Ah, crap. I freaking forgot. I freaking forgot.
It'll come to you.
Yeah, it'll come to you like Yeah, it'll come.
So all right, so let's talk about something else. All right, so what's Bug's next move? Did that happen in this chapter? Because I
Yes.
didn't really get to read the spoilers. I was going to read
Not
the
me.
chapter.
I don't read them. I don't read spoilers.
I tried to refrain, but I do it for the podcast. But all right, so
Exactly.
So it's the last page. It says the demon army finally attacks, controlling his power and knowledge. Konoha and Ada must hold fast. So we get a few days later, so it's the week's up basically. And Bug says, "Big sis Ada, I wonder where you're hiding at." Well now, and then he basically tells them to erase their chakra signatures and don't let them detect their. I think they're killing intent, or they're like their intent,
mhm.
and they're basically gonna look for Ada.
Mm.
So he is going after his target. So now they have to protect Ada from getting devoured by Bug.
I saw a couple more panels of Bug. I think he was with Jorah. What was it about? Let me go back up to it.
You
Fire.
we keep calling him Bug, but we all know it's Momoshi, right?
Momoshi, yeah, but yeah, that's my boy Bug. That's Henny
Yeah,
Bug.
my boy Bug. I need my Henny Lord to get a win.
Yeah.
I cannot wait until Damon meets Bug. I cannot
Okay.
wait.
So this is where it is right here. It doesn't seem like Bug. Oh, okay. That was my question. Thank you. You triggered it. You triggered my thought. Okay. So there isn't a chance since Kashin Koji is pretty much relying on Ino. So there isn't a chance that Bug is fighting in this battle.
And we all know if Bug's fighting
It
a
depends.
certain. We all know if Bug's fighting. This is gonna be Damon.
It
Win-win for
depends
me.
because we see if you go down a few pages, we see Koji telling Shikamaru to keep his numbers to about 20 and 30. So we will probably have a few ninjas fighting Mamushi.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll just have to see if Damon enters the fray and if like Ada gets forced to like join in.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just have to see because we're probably going to be dealing with a few dozen bugs. And it's fitting because they even say like how bugs swarm to like they tend to swarm together. It feels like it's on a play on words with like Bug's name. Just,
I thought Momoshi was like Snake or
yes,
something.
Mamushi is Snake, 100%. Like
Which
it's
is
funny
ironic
how
because Orochimaru isn't in his.
it's just funny how Bug's name is Bug,
Mm-hmm.
and we
And
could
yet,
say it's a data bug, like on a play of words, but also like how bugs tend to swarm. That's exactly how his power works. Let me see. Where did Koji say this? Hang on.
the more I'm hearing about this, the more I wanted like it either to be Shino, Orochimaru, or even Mitsuki.
You're right there. So it's his 7 parts have a property that causes him to swarm. So in my mind, like how flies and bugs tend to swarm. It's funny how like Mamushi's like original template is bug, and his power set is kind of operating like a swarm of bugs. So I just find that really interesting.
People wanted Shino to do more instead of just being a teacher, which I don't have a problem with. But then again, what are you going to do? It's a time of peace.
We got people saying in the chat, Damon can't win.
Oh, that's cap. That is cap.
I actually agree.
Squash.
I actually agree because if you got to remember, if it was just pure power, with the bug situation, just throw Damon at him. The fact Koji actually has to plan for the fight means it's not a 1-to-1. Let's send Damon out there. Let's have him beat Bug. No. And I think because things have been going towards Boruto's way for too long, I think Damon will meet his match. And I feel like it's fitting because who introduced us to Damon's power set? It was Bug. Bug seemed to believe that Damon was beatable. The only thing he overestimated was Code's power level. So having Mamushi be that snake in hiding and actually outsmart Damon would go full circle for someone that's Bug's template.
Yeah, because he's
Yeah, I
pretty
can
much
see
the
that.
first introduction to Bug. Like Bug was warning them about how strong he was and don't let that one out. And yeah, so like Bug was the first introduction to Damon. So I mean it kind of be poetic for them to fight at the end just because Damon was bullying them the whole time. But it's just a simple fact that Caution Koji just as of yet, because at least we're just in this chapter right now, and the climax is where the real battle is going to begin. So we don't know what Damon could possibly do. Even though I'm on the team, Damon is about to get turned into a pack, but
100%. I'm on that team with you.
I mean, I'm 50-50 on it. I'm 50-50.
Why?
I'm sorry, guys. I'm 50-50. Like,
Why?
because this is Bug we're talking about. The
No, it's Momoshi.
yeah, whatever. Sorry for saying Bug, but now you guys got me confused on which one. I'm sorry for laughing.
You got to remember though, Mamushi is still a divine tree who we're told is stronger than Code. We got to see the last battle he had with Boruto. He was holding his own. He brushed off his lightning style. He's no slouch. He has a really good ability. So objectively, he is a monster in his own right. Ada even told us they're all monsters who would have code packing. The fact that you have to plan for him means you can't beat him through pure power. You have to actually plan. You have to be tricky. That's why we have
So it's
Enojin.
basically brains, not bronze.
Basically, we have to be really careful in this. We have Enojin learning his new jutsu. We have to specifically plan. We're even told that if we let Mamushi clone himself too much, they'll get overwhelmed. That's why you have to keep his numbers to a limited amount and destroy his eyes. So we have to understand that he is a threat. You can't forget that. He is the divine tree at the end of the day. It doesn't matter how much of a clown Bug was. Just because he's Bug's template, with him being Bug's template, actually makes him more dangerous because Bug had such intense emotions towards Ada and to a lesser extent Damon. So we have to remember things are tricky with the divine trees. So you can't just write them off because you see Damon and you think like he's really strong. And of course he is strong. We gotta remember, if Damon was end all be all, we wouldn't be doing all this planning. Because he wants to save his sister. If he could save his sister by destroying Jura, they would get him to. But they can't, because Jura is stronger, and Bug can potentially overwhelm Damon. We just have to wait and see. It could go either way.
Yeah, I agree.
Exactly.
Yeah, I see that.
Those numbers with Mamushi, like, it doesn't matter how strong you are. If you're gonna keep getting overwhelmed by an infinite number of people who are at a Jigen level plus strength, supposedly, you're gonna get overwhelmed. And if I had to compare it, it would be like the Cooler movie, the Metal Cooler movie.
Yeah.
Sure, Goku and Vegeta were able to beat a couple coolers, but if they're
But they
getting
had to
attacked,
take it out at the
Yeah.
source,
they're
which
getting attacked by
for
a
some reason his
1,000
brain
coolers,
was
they're gonna
going
lose
there for some
stamina.
reason.
So if
Wait, say that again. Rising.
I said,
Okay.
I said if they're
I
gonna be
remember
attacked
the
by
end of that
1,000,
movie.
Hey, hold on, Power. Let one person talk at a time, please, because it's like over talking and I can't hear.
Exactly. Sorry, man.
No, you're good. You're good.
so what I was saying is Goku and Vegeta could handle a metal cooler or two in the movie. But when they were getting attacked by 1,000 coolers, it doesn't matter how much stronger they were, they got overwhelmed and taken out.
Yeah, they still
With Damon,
fought though.
yeah, and they're still strong in their own right, but they did get overwhelmed. The only thing they did
No, you're right.
to beat Cooler was they overwhelmed him power wise. If Cooler had just killed them, he would have won.
Yeah,
Cooler got arrogant and tried to add their powers on into the
To
beginning.
his own. To his own.
But if he had just killed them, they would have won.
yeah.
So
That was a cool movie, by the way. When I was a kid, I wish they made him canon. They made Broly canon. Why can't they make him canon?
So if Mamushi like we said yesterday on the podcast, if he's getting so dumb to a point where he has no intent to Damon, and he's just gonna keep coming back and coming back and coming back, and Damon's just forced to use his regular reflection abilities, at some point, Damon's gonna get worn out because Damon
Mhm.
isn't the type of person to follow a plan to destroy Bug's eyes. That's why I think the deviation in Koji's plan will be Damon. Because Damon's gonna be the type of guy who's gonna keep fighting. And if he's taking out a bunch of Mamushi clones, they're just gonna keep cloning themselves until he gets overwhelmed. I think that's what Damon's downfall will be, because he's gotten so used to being top man on that pecking order, he can't comprehend losing to someone like who he thinks is Bug.
Right.
And this feels like the perfect
Right.
counter to him because he has no intent to Damon. He's gonna be a mindless drone who just wants to get Ada. He's not gonna care for Damon. All he's gonna see is this one kid repeatedly attacking him. He's just gonna defend himself without any intent. And I really want to see how Damon takes that.
Okay, Damon as a character has been divisive for me as of late. So I'm hoping this gives him much needed development. I say that in air quotes. I mean, let's be honest. He doesn't really have anything. Guys, you there?
Yeah. Yeah. And we just have to see how Damon deals with it. And we'll just have to wait and see. I think it's really interesting. I think we'll finally get like a legit power line of power in this current TBV era. We'll
Power.
just have to see how Damon does things, because we know Jura right now is on top, because we know that from what Koji said that they don't have a 1 in a million chance of beating Jura right now. That would indirectly include Damon. And we just have to see. For all we know, Damon could win the battle but lose the war. He could be 100% stronger than
he could
Mamochi.
But he could be going up against like 100 Bug clones, taking them out one by one, but still get overwhelmed. Let's be honest here.
But the problem is, yeah, he could get overwhelmed, or even he might not even get overwhelmed, and Ada still gets taken out. So it's not a whole strength issue. Like, you don't win a battle just by being strong. Damon could be 100 times stronger than Mamushi, but if Mamushi's just gonna keep coming back and overwhelming him, and then gets Ada, Damon's still lost. We gotta remember that you don't necessarily have to be more powerful than someone to win. It just depends on a lot of circumstances. We could end off this arc with Damon still being top 2, and he could have still fumbled and lost Ada. So we'll just have to see where his character development takes. And it would be really interesting to see him lose Ada and still being strong, and then realizing that, yeah, he fumbled. He had the power, but he didn't really know how to use it in that circumstance, or he didn't listen to directions and lost his sister because of it. So we'll just have to see, because it could go really either way. Bug doesn't necessarily have to be more powerful. He could just have more utility. Utility. Utility is the best word for this. More utility and just more abilities that take advantage of Damon's ego, basically. It would be basically like the Code situation. Code is stronger than Sasuke, 100%. He's a lot stronger than Sasuke. But he has an ego. I
thought you were going to say Kawaki, and I know how much you don't like that.
But Code had an ego. Sasuke capitalized it and got him off guard and slashed his eye out. So it's not necessarily you being stronger that wins the battle. You have to use everything on the field. You have to take into account power sets, ego, strategy. I'm not saying Damon at the end of this arc is going to be weaker than Mamushi. I'm just saying that Mamushi might have specific skills and power sets that can manipulate Damon into actually losing a fight. We'll just have to wait and see. Because I feel like the deck is stacked against Boruto right now. He's had too many wins in the last few arcs. we need a consequence of his actions. I feel like having Ada get taken out in response to him saving Konohamaru and changing the future would be poetic justice. And we finally get to see where Damon stands and how he deals with these new threats, and how, even though he might be stronger than most of them, he still could get in trouble with these new threats, especially because Koji is saying, yeah, you need to follow this plan. It's not like throw Damon out like a Pokemon, have him attack, and then that's it, you win. It's more than that. You have a lot of planning to do. Yeah, Damon's definitely intelligent, but we also got to remember that if Damon could handle Mamushi on his own, there would be no real reason to have Inojin learn this new skill, or tell Shikamaru that, yeah, we got to keep his numbers between this and this. We got a plan. You got to destroy his eyes. If it was something like, okay, Damon, there's Mamushi. All you have to do is destroy his eyes and destroy him. Let's send you out. That would be a simple point A and point B. The fact that we have Koji planning everything means that Damon can't be the end all or be all basically. So we'll just have to see. And yeah, a one-on-one fight is the best way to take him down, but you also gotta lower his intelligence. That's the issue. Because where is it? Let me read this. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. Mamushi's ability to split apart is one of his powers. There's almost no limit to his numbers. He can split apart into several persons. Or says it's like shadow clones. He says no, it's completely different. The biggest difference is all the parts are the real body. So everyone is Mamushi. So if you watched Invincible, it's basically Duplicate, where all her bodies are real. If you take away all the bodies except one, that becomes the real Kate. And he basically multiplies while he's at full strength. And his weakness is the more he increases his numbers, the more his intelligence falls.
It's funny that you bring up Duplicate from Invincible, because she has a brother too.
Yes, Multipole. And it says it says if
much
you
like
reduce
Ada and Damon themselves.
and they say if you reduce his numbers bit by bit, he'll recover his intelligence. So no, you can't do that. You have to have him to split to a certain amount so he can be dumbed down, and then you have to round them up and take them all in one blow by taking their eyes out to stop them from duplicating again. So you can't fight Mamushi at full strength, basically. You have to nerf him down. So it basically becomes a situation where you need all this planning to take out Mamushi. And you got to remember, he's having Inojin learn this jutsu now. He's telling him that you have to learn it before the week is up. You have 2 days to learn it. So he's going to have to use this against Mamushi. He even says it. You got to remember, Inojin, I'm going to have you master a new jutsu. It's not an exaggeration to say that this jutsu will be pivotal to the battle with Mamushi. It's a brand new jutsu that's backward compatible with the mind transfer jutsu. That's why I invited you here. Mamushi will arrive in the village about 1 week from now. There's a chance he will come even sooner. Either way, there's not much time. At the very latest, I need you to perfect this jutsu in 2 days. So this jutsu is going to be pivotal against the Mamushi fight. So that means it's not as simple as just sending Damon with the info of Mamushi's abilities and weakness and have him just destroy Mamushi. If it was that easy, it would be that easy, because Damon now has a reason to fight. His sister's in trouble. The fact that we're not having Damon be the end-all be-all is because there's more to that. And he says you should be able to do it. After all, this is a jutsu you thought of yourself in order to enact vengeance for Himawari. So it doesn't matter who he really invented it for, because Koji is literally saying we gotta use this jutsu for Mamushi. So the fact that he needs this jutsu for Mamushi means you need to have all this careful planning. You need to include Shikamaru. You need to tell him how many numbers you have to keep it. We have to keep it at. We have to have all these different strategies to take care of Mamushi, because it's not as simple as that. This is a really ingenious strategy Koji is doing, if I had to compare it, he'd be playing chess basically. You have to maneuver all your pieces. At the end of the day, Damon could be a big plan in Koji's mission. He could be a big asset. We just don't know that yet. He could come. The next chapter could come and say, "Yeah, we have to position Damon to fight the main body, or the herd." But right now, as far as we know, we need all these other pieces too. So it's not. It doesn't seem like something Damon can just snap his fingers and the problem disappears. That's what makes these divine trees tricky. While Damon might be stronger, and I'm not denying it, he could 100% be 100 times stronger than Mamushi. It's not always strength that wins the battle. It does. Damon is a tactician in his own right, but it just shows how tricky these Shinju are. So to where you do need this planning, you do need these other jutsus, you do need to clue Shikamaru in, because he even said that the battle will only go favorably if Shikamaru is acting Hokage to where he can give commands. So we'll just have to see. Yeah, exactly. We'll just have to see in due time. I think Damon will struggle. That's my opinion. I could 100% be wrong. I just think we need all this planning to even have a chance to beat Mamushi. I personally don't think we'll get an optimal solution, because things have been really going too well for Boruto right now that I think he needs to have some loss. And I feel like right now everything is stacked in Boruto's favor. He basically has a person that can see the future. He has a person who can see the past and present. You still have Juro, who doesn't really know what's going on. And he basically sees Boruto outsmarting him left and right. So I think something has to give. We just need to lose someone. And Damon doesn't necessarily have to lose. He just has to get distracted to a point where Ada's incapacitated or just gone. And I feel like that's the only way we can move forward with the story, is if we debuff some of Boruto's team, because we've seen Juro lose members of his team, and kind of just get so confused on why Boruto's able to do this, to where he sent Code to do some research and find out Boruto's collaborator. So I feel like we just need to lose someone on Team Boruto, because we're stacked, to be honest. Like, I'm sorry to Naruto and Sasuke fans, but we have people who are so much stronger than Naruto and Sasuke now, or just have more diverse power sets, that Konoha has stacked. They didn't really lose anything. We'll just have to see what Damon's secret power is, if he does have one. I feel like, we gotta remember, Damon is actually able to sense power, because he was able to sense Himawari's hidden potential. He was also able to sense exactly what Uzuhiko did. So we'll just have to see. I am interested to see him go all out. I'm just curious. What do you guys think? I think, from what we've seen, I think he can figure out power sets. I think that's what it is, because he was able to sense Himawari before anyone else could. The only person who could was Juro. He was able to sense Uzuhiko and exactly what it did. So I think he can basically decode power sets. That's my opinion. We'll just have to see. I'm really interested, guys. I think this battle could go in a lot of different ways, and I'm just, at the end of the day, I'm just really excited for the next chapter. And then, we got Kawaki cooking at the end of the day. I really hope we get some character development for Kawaki, because now it seems like he's at a one-track mind. Of course, it does fit his character. Like, he wanted pure power. He wanted to become a monster. I just want to see how he gets amped, because we can either A, overclock him scientific ninja tool wise, B, Shibai cells. I don't know how to feel about Shibai cells. What do you guys think about that? We'll just have to see, to be honest. There's so many different things, and Hikamoto is really interesting in how he's dealing with these side characters, because he turned Inojin from like hated individual number 2, number 3, to a really solid character, to where I'm actually rooting for him. And I really hope he continues with the side characters, especially since we're now getting Sumire stuff. I feel like Sumere's been overdue. Sarada is basically a completed character right now. I feel like we won't get too much from her until she does start going blind, and then we start asking questions about her EMS and how she's gonna get that, whether she'll use Sasuke's original eyes or something else. I think right now we're stacked. We're perfectly good. I feel like we just need to figure out how to move forward. And that would be really interesting, having Kawaki get Jura's powers. I feel like that would be funny. And I don't know, there's so many things we could do. There's so many characters that have been slowly cooking off in the sidelines. You know, we have Momoshiki going through his homeless arc. Dude's like depressed. Dude's like, woe is me. I've been stuck in this inferior creature for 3 years, 3+ years. I can't even beat a 15-year-old. So we'll just have to.
My bad, Ryzen. I had got an important phone call.
No problem at all. Welcome back.
Yeah, my bad. My children's mother talks my ear off, so I apologize.
No problem at all.
Hey, if anybody want to join though, there's a link at the top. It's pinned to the chat. Yeah, so click that, and I'll let you join up on stage. What happened to the other guy?
I think he just left.
Well,
just popped off.
Oh well. Oh well.
Yeah,
all right.
nice night. Yeah. What do you want to talk about?
What did you like leave off on?
We were basically talking about basically the story could go really anywhere. Like we have so many characters cooking in the background.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about how Ikawara really did a 180 on Inojin. Like he went from like a really hated character,
Yeah,
to like someone you could honestly root for now. And you know,
right.
I hope he does it with the other side characters. We're starting to get it now with Sumire too. I feel like that's overdue. I feel like Sarada right now is kind of a completed character until she starts going blind. No, and like until she starts going blind basically.
Until she get her second manga
Yes.
ability as well.
Yes, that too. And I feel like until like we have her like exert herself to where we start asking questions about how will she get her EMS? Will she get Sasuke's original eyes, or will she use scientific ninja tool it or something? I feel like that's when we'll get her next big character arc.
Right.
Because for right now, it could go either way. She could exert herself during the Mamushi fight, or she could even wait until she fights Hidari. But at some point, she's gonna overuse those eyes, and they're gonna burn out.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have to go through her other character development arc. I feel like she should get Sasuke's original eyes because she's basically carrying on her father's legacy at that point.
Right.
Like fully and truly. With Sasuke, it was more so he carried on Itachi's will. Because people, I feel like some people will tend to forget that Renegon and that Mangekyo is Itachi's original eye.
Right.
So if she has Sasuke's eyes, she's fully carrying on her father's will. She's fully cleansing and redeeming Sasuke of the sins he had. And then we have Code, like someone said just now, we have Code basically cooking in the shadows, which I really feel like he's giving me Kabuto vibes, where he was just cooking in the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
We saw glimpses of him, and we talked about this earlier. He could show up and take Mamushi's Thorn Soul if Mamushi gets to that point.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's like really, really a lot of ways these characters could go. And we have Kawaki cooking in the background, you know. I don't know how he'll get stronger. We have a few other choices. We have overclocking his ninja tools. We have Shibai cells. I don't know how to feel about Shibai cells necessarily. We'll just have to see.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Shibai cells are new Hashirama cells.
Exactly.
And the villains always gotta have all those new cells. You know, Madara did it. Obito did it. Even Naruto had Hashirama cells.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just have to see what Kawaki does. Someone just said this in chat. If Shikamaru gets confronted by Code and he gets messed up again, I don't know how to feel about Shikamaru. I think at that point,
Shikamaru does what?
If Shikamaru gets confronted by Code and he gets put in like a hostage situation again.
Oh.
Like, oh yeah, I have your Hokage. Give me Bug's Thorn Soul or else I'll kill him. I don't know how to feel about that. I feel like at that point, at that point, we just need Shikanai to take up the slack.
And he only has one arm too. How much?
That is
I mean,
that's 100% true.
he can't stop him from doing a shadow paralysis.
I hope so. I feel like we need a Shikamaru physical win. Like he's been big braining it for like a while, and that's great. I just feel like we need to go back to his wrist where he's a tactician on the field. Because it feels like back in New Gen, he kind of fumbled it with Naruto.
Right.
I feel like Naruto could have put up a fight with limited code, in my opinion. I just feel like Shikamaru kind of fumbled that showing. But I don't know. What do you want to see in this arc? Like, who do you want to see get the spotlight soon?
In this arc, I'm gonna go with Enojin, man. Like this new power up is kind of crazy, but I know
Yeah, I'm
that.
glad.
Yeah, but I know it's more for Himawari though, so I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. So the one that I want to see turn up the most, I want to see what Ada's about. Like, does Ada has any combat ability? Does she have anything besides the omnipotence? Like, what's to Ada? We only know so much.
That's 100%. I feel like this will be the end all be all for all Ada debates. Because if she just has basic taijutsu like she says, that's it. If she has something else, we'll finally see it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to see. I got a question for you though.
Yeah.
If they bring back Edo Tensei into Boruto, who would you like to see? And before you answer that, I wanted to show you something real quick. I never knew this, and I wanted to know if you knew this or if it's just cap. It's called the strongest Uzumaki, and I've never heard of this before. It was like it said that Orochimaru did not want to resurrect him in the war arc, but like check this out. It was a short that I was watching earlier.
Orochimaru too terrified to revive the strongest Uzumaki in history. Not just Orochimaru, but even Kabuto refused to bring this guy back. And here's the crazy part. This dude wasn't even evil. Complete opposite, actually. The Uzumaki are known for being kind-hearted people. The only ones who turn dark are those with traumatic childhoods. But that's exactly the problem. Because he was so compassionate, this legendary Uzumaki would immediately sympathize with everyone being controlled by the Edo Tensei. Think about it. These reanimated ninjas had zero freedom, couldn't even make their own choices. All that suffering would trigger something in this Uzumaki master. And remember, he was the greatest sealing jutsu user in all of history. But here's what most people missed. His compassion would be his greatest weapon. The moment he felt the pain of the other reanimated souls, he'd break free from the Edo Tensei using an internal sealing technique, something no one else could pull off. And if he breaks free, game over. Neither Orochimaru nor Kabuto could do anything to stop him. He'd probably free every single reanimated ninja and turn the entire jutsu against its user. That's why they never dared to revive him. Sometimes being too good is the most dangerous thing of all. What do you think would happen if he was actually brought back? Drop your theories in the comments and...
See, I feel like most of it is cap. But there is a grain of truth in it, because we do have Ashina Uzumaki, so the guy who was the Uzumaki clan head during Hashirama's time.
Right.
It's just we don't know enough about him to be able to make an educated guess, because we haven't really I shared the screen here. We haven't really heard Orochimaru or Kabuto really talk about him or consider him at all.
Yeah, I don't remember that either.
Yeah, so while we do know there was an old Uzumaki clan head in Hashirama's time to where they had a close relationship, and we could make an educated guess that he would be up there in power. Like, we have Sasuke Sarutobi, who we don't really know about. We do know he existed, Hiruzen's father, and that he was strong in his own right. We just don't know enough about this dude to even say he could, like, do everything, like, oh, I can just undo the seal or something.
Right.
Like, we know the Uzumaki had tons of sealing jutsu. It wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility to say he could do it. It's just we have no real information about it. Orochimaru and Kabuto never brought it up. The closest thing that did get brought up is just Uzumaki techniques in general.
Right.
And then it could be the simple case of, okay, I wanted to revive him, but I literally have no genetic material from him. It could be as simple as that.
Yeah.
We just don't fully know what the case is. I would say most of it's just cap. And you know, the Uzumaki clan is underutilized. Most of it is because, you know, they're obviously dead. And like the newest thing we ever got from like the Uzumaki is basically the Minato one shot. So until like we really find out more about him, we can't really say. All we do know is they did know a lot of sealing jutsu, not out of the realm of possibility. It's just most of it is like cap right now.
You know what's crazy? He never even mentioned the guy name, so anybody can
Exactly.
like, do research.
Yeah, so you would have to wonder what Uzumaki is talking about, because there's only a handful, and other than Kushina, Mito, Kari, Nagato, Naruto, and then Boruto and Himawari, the only other Uzumaki that we know is this dude, and we only know him for like a page. We only saw him for a page.
See him, yeah. Oh, hey, bro, we got a super chat. I didn't even notice that. My bad. Hey, and Antonio Bookman. Sorry, I don't even know if you're still on right now, but thank you for the $2 donation. He said, "What do y'all think Damon's second ability is?"
Oh yeah, I actually answered this while you were gone.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay,
Yeah, so
okay.
I said it could go really either way. I think his second, if he doesn't have a second ability, I think it would be power sensing. So being able to break down what type of power you use, because you got to remember, he was the only one who was able to sense Himawari's hidden potential.
Oh,
for that split second. He was also able to instantly sense what the Uzuhiko was able to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like he's able to break down powers and just like comprehend them. And I feel like,
is that an ability though, or is that just like something inherent that he knows how to do?
I feel like it would be a type of sensing ability, because we call sensing abilities.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Naruto's case, being able to sense negative emotions, having the ability to sense chakra as a sensory ninja. So I feel like it wouldn't be out of the realm of the possibility. That's just one of his powers.
Right.
But he could definitely have like another physical ability. I'm just drawing a blank, because how overpowered do we make Damon before we have to start questioning Jura? Because the more powerful we make Damon, that just kind of upscales Jura, because we know Damon can't be Jura. Off of
you know what I think?
Koji said.
I think his second ability is the reflection. I think his first ability is him being overpowered, like superhuman strength.
100%.
That's what I think it is, honestly. I don't think that they're ever going to like reveal a second ability for him. I think that what we got is what we got. But one thing that Ada did say when they was talking with Code is not to reveal everything.
Yes.
Like, yeah, Cole was asking him, so what's your abilities? And, you know, she gave him the hush on that part. So it's possibly he does have a second ability.
We'll just have to see. I guess November will be our month for the Demon fans. We'll just have to see.
Maybe. I don't think so, man. I don't think so.
I feel like the second he gets close to Ada, then you basically have no real choice but to push that Demon button. So we'll just have to wait and see, to be honest. I feel like it's been a bit overdue. And, you know, Ikemoto's always keeping us guessing. So if he can make Inojin a likable character, I feel like he can give us a half-decent fight.
You know what Damon reminds me of?
Yeah.
You ever play Super Smash Brothers?
Yes.
You know who Ness is?
Yes. Oh, yes. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. When you attack him, he basically reflects your attack.
Yeah, he reminds me of Ness. That's basically who they like. I don't want to say that they copied that character, but that's Ness. Ness stays a kid, all that. He's super freaking strong.
100%.
Flexibility. Yeah, like he's Ness.
100%. And you know, they could go a ton of different ways with Damon. He's already smarter than he looks. He does have amazing sensory abilities.
Mm-hmm.
He has the strength. You know, he does have an ego. We'll just have to see how he takes a potential hypothetical fight with Mamushi. And, you know, even though Damon could 100% be stronger than Mamushi, But if Mamushi can overwhelm him, it becomes a moot point because we got to remember strength isn't the end all be all. So we'll
No.
just have to see.
Yeah, yeah. It's always been stated, you gotta see the deception behind the deception. That's always
Exactly.
been Naruto. It wasn't always about brute strength. So you guys like the war arc, of course.
Exactly. We'll just have to see. Like I feel like they're really going back to their roots by like using trickery to see like how someone like Konohamaru, who wouldn't usually be able to beat Matsuri head on, was able to get her off guard. And if he wasn't in his emotions, he would have actually killed her. And that's an off guard feat. That's him using ninja trickery and just taking care of her, using her inherent mental weaknesses to beat her.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So why do you think that Ada waited so long to divulge that, Sumire and Sarada wasn't under her omnipotence?
I feel like she just got introspective. I feel like she's sensing her own death, in my opinion. Because we have that talk with Kashi and Koji with her. We have a potential off-screen talk with her. I think she really wanted to take the plunge because at the end of the day, she does want friends. And I feel like she let it play out because she really wanted to see their motives. Because she wanted friends.
Right.
I'm guessing she wouldn't know if she could trust them. She had to wait. She even says that I don't think you have any ill intent against me. And she really saw how carefree and like off guard they were in front of her. So I think that's what led to her like finally trusting them.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's not the type of person to trust people. She has Damon for a reason. Like she was scared of people who are immune of her power because they could actually kill her.
And I mean, and I don't know what Amano did to her, but she could have had some traumatic experience
Exactly
with that as well. So yeah, that's a factor.
So I feel like now she just fully trusts them. She believes that they have her best interest at heart. They're not really gonna try to kill her. And I think we've hit character development for Ada to where, yeah, people can still hate her. And, power to them. I still hate her. I'm a big Ada hater.
I love Ada. I'm gonna have to drop you off the pod now. Since you're a Ada hater.
But hey, I can understand that her character is developing and she's becoming a better person. Like, she's not inherently a bad person. She's a traumatized person. It doesn't excuse what she's done, but it's an explanation. You can't help but sympathize with her.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, she is a traumatized kid. She was 16 when we met her.
Yeah.
She was probably kidnapped even before then. Yep. So at the end of the day, she's literally just like Kawaki. She's a traumatized kid who was ripped off from her family. She was probably an orphan at that, a poor orphan, because Jigen was just gathering orphans because no one would care.
I mean, but that was for the experiment of Plains of the Karma Cell. I think that was all Amado was doing. I think Amado kidnapped her ass, honestly. That's why she hates Amado so much.
100%. I'm just gonna guess that they're still orphans. Because then people would still look if it was like some kid of like great family line.
They would have came and looked for him.
So either they were just poor,
it would have been like wanted posters.
Exactly.
Or like, have you seen this kid?
And like the only outlier would be like the adult shinobi like Boro and the others who just wanted just like wanted that wish from Jigen and like sympathize with the Otsutsuki.
Yeah, that's
true. And then like exactly. Someone just said it. Like Android 18 and 17. Exactly. That's 100% it. They were just misunderstood kids who were kidnapped. Same thing with Damon and Nada. Damon's not inherently evil. If you don't mess with his sister, he's okay with you. We even have him playing video games with Boruto. He even likes Boruto more than Kawaki, which is funny.
I don't blame him.
Exactly. At least he has good taste.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the end of the day, they were just experimented on and given these powers, and if a random dude gets godlike powers, in most cases they'll use them.
Yeah.
Especially if they've been hurt by the world like a million times.
Hell yeah.
So we can't really fault that. That's just showing human emotions. which I
Bro,
feel like
and-
TBV is 100% playing on. Like we have these different divine trees with different emotions, and you have the human characters expressing emotions.
If I so happen to gain superpowers, I would go to every employer that fired me and I would cause havoc. So yeah, I get it. I understand.
Same thing. I'd be a dictator.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah, exactly. I'm a big Marvel fan. I watch X-Men. I mean not X-Men. I watch like all the Marvel movies and stuff. I'm like, bro, why are you saving the world?
exactly. Like Spider-Man. Why?
Yeah, why Spider-Man? Even though they'll fuck Spider-Man over though. I'm not
Like
even
you ever
gonna
see
lie.
those shorts where that one dude gains power and the other dude tells him you're gonna be a hero? No, why would I be a hero?
Yeah, exactly.
Run,
What the fuck?
run up your wallet. Why would I be a hero? That's a thankless job.
Yeah, I'm not getting paid for this. I think it was in one Marvel movie too, and it was talking about you don't get paid for this or anything like that. You risk your life, blah blah blah. I
Exactly.
can't remember.
I'm no
Maybe
Tony Stark.
Spider-Man. I think it was.
Yes,
I think it was
it was.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. Like I'm no Tony Stark. I don't got billions laying around. I'm no
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne. I'm not even no Victor Von Doom. I don't got money. Why would I help people?
Yeah,
I don't get a
facts.
salary.
Facts. Oh, I want to talk about that later too. Before I know you say you only had a limited amount of time, but I want to talk about Doomsday with you before we end the pod. But we
Sure.
did have a super chat before that. It's from Tenio. Oh my gosh, man, I need a new computer. This thing is doing whatever it wants. Hold on. I gotta touch it. I use my touch screen. All right, Antonio Bookman, thank you for the $4. Oh my gosh, thank you for the $5 donation. He said, I think after Ada dies, he's going to rage out and have something crazy to kill all Mamushi. Well, he spelled Mamushi wrong. All Mamushi is one blow using help of Enogen.
I could see that because we gotta remember Damon's whole purpose in life is to protect his sister.
Mm-hmm.
So if he fumbles and Ada dies, if it's a self-sacrificing thing, if Mamushi devours Ada, we could definitely see him snap. I expect him to snap if he's still in fighting shape. So I feel like that's just like the standard thing. Like if his sister's gone, he will rage out. He will go insane. So it's just a matter of if it happens and when.
Yeah, that's true. Did y'all discuss? I think before I dropped off, you saying or Black told me something in the chat that Jorah's trees plays more significant role than we thought because we was harping on Bara because he was like somehow they had to destroy the trees and we was like, man, that has nothing to do with it, blah blah blah. But I think Black said something about the trees that Jorah sprouts, like when he heals himself and stuff like that. That's more than just that.
Yeah, so from what I understand it, so their divine tree already sprouted roots
You know
around
what
the
page
planet.
that is? I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yes, hang on. I think it's from the last chapter or like the one where Jorah was fighting Kawaki and Boruto. Hang on, let me try to find it.
Oh, it's a previous chapter?
Yes, I can pull it up.
Okay. I thought he was saying in this chapter they alluded to something about.
Oh wait, they did. Yeah. They talked about how Kawaki talked about how he's beatable. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
You're right. 100% right. Hang on. Pull it up.
Sharing the screen. Let's see.
It is page. It is page 23. So basically, his divine tree already sprouted roots. So the tree is basically inside the planet. So that's kind of how Matsuri was able to like gather information. She was using the root system under the planet to gather information. So the tree already exists. It's just incomplete. So it is the divine tree. So the wood style he's using is the tree, and he's using the tree to heal himself whenever he gets hurt. Same thing with the thorn souls. when a divine tree dies, if you put the thorn soul back into the main like Ten Tails place,
Mhm.
they'll revive. So the tree already exists.
So it is kind of like Hashirama's wood release.
Yes, but it's basically better. If I had to compare it, it's literally what Kaguya did, where she sprouted the tree and like it was absorbing chakra from every human.
Mhm.
But it's more so, it's absorbing chakra from the planet.
From the planet.
And it's just like it's like encircling the planet's core and stuff. So it's all around the planet. Like the roots are already there, the tree is already there. It just hasn't fully finalized. So like someone said, it's basically the Cell arc. Jura has to reach its final form. He has to devour an Otsutsuki.
Right.
So the tree right now can heal them. So if you're not able to fully destroy Jura or the divine trees, they're just gonna keep getting healed by that tree because you have a near infinite source of chakra throughout the planet.
Right.
So you do have to destroy. You either have to fully destroy Jura, or you have to destroy that divine tree, which I'm guessing Jura would be easy to destroy because the tree is already there. Like I wouldn't know how to separate the tree from the earth without destroying Jura first.
Yeah. Yeah. Major point. So it's kind of like using nature energy, kind of like Sage Moon then more often. But besides healing wounds.
Yep. That's what I would say 100%. He's basically using the planet's chakra, and you're operating off an near infinite source of chakra. Like Amado said, you're basically going to be immortal at that point.
Yeah. Dang, that's crazy. So, how did Amado even figure this out?
I'm guessing he was just watching because, like, we see the tree and we see footage. So he basically
how the hell is he getting the footage of under the earth?
No, you got to remember he has cameras in Kaoki's eyes.
Yeah, Kaoki.
So he saw the tree sprout.
Right.
So he just made his educated guess because he said it's a bit hard to make out from my info, but something itself is definitely inside. So he was able to make an educated guess of the tree sprouting in the sand, and like everything he saw of Jura to make him to make an educated guess that it's the divine tree. And he says, looking at it, I think there's no mistaking it. That's the divine tree itself.
Right.
Then he talks about how it heals their abilities and like it's basically a weapon and a shield. And then how he might be immortal. And then, Kaoki says, no, he's beatable. I just need more power. So, we got to remember, Amado is smart in his own right. He's been studying the divine tree. He's been studying the Otsutsuki. So he's a semi-reliable character when he's talking to Kaoki, I guess. Even though I still don't trust his ass.
At all. I think he's a false narrator.
Yes, 100%.
Like I think he sprinkles in truths. But
the fact that he has recorded data from Kawaki means that him sealing Naruto and Hinata is in that computer.
Yeah.
And I feel like that would be something funny that Sumire could use if push comes to shove, and just have it be like, here's absolute proof that Naruto was sealed away by Kawaki.
Why didn't he see that in the first place? Isn't he always monitoring Kawaki?
He probably knows it now, but like when it was happening, like in New Gen, he wasn't at his computer. And after Omnipotence, he has no reason to tell anyone because at the end of the day, he doesn't care about Naruto. He doesn't care about the village. He doesn't even care about the planet.
True.
He just cares about his daughter. So if Kawaki's happy, he's happy.
But that would because I remember in the chapter he was talking about Kawaki's design, and it's like a artist signature or something like that.
Yes, I feel like he's cap.
No. Like the way that Kawaki's built, like is his creation, and he looks at Boruto, 100%. And it's not. So he was kind of confused on why Kawaki is Boruto. So 100%. Why wouldn't he like try to go back in like the files? I mean, I don't know if Kawaki's eyes are like continuously recording or if he's just shutting it on so he can see what's going on. Because if he's that curious and he's that smart of a scientist, he should go back to see what the hell is going on.
I think he did, because we got to remember, he knows Kawaki is the guy he put the karma in. He put his karma in. I feel like he was just telling Sumire. He wasn't telling Sumire everything. Because just like how Koji saw omnipotence happen with his prescience, he just didn't know what omnipotence was. He just knew the swap happened. I feel like part of it is true, but part of it is cap because he would have seen Kawaki with Ada. He would have seen Kawaki sealing Naruto and Hinata. I just don't think he would have told Sumire. So he has that info right there, and he knows Kawaki is
and
Kawaki.
That's why he most likely is still working with Kawaki.
100%. And he even says, "My memories must have been altered. I just don't care
Right.
because Kawaki's the one I need at the end of the day. He doesn't care what his memories say. He just sees the proof that the karma is there. So he's not gonna hunt down Boruto. He knows Kawaki's there. He knows that he's a cyborg, and we gotta remember that Kawaki needs maintenance on his body anyway. So Kawaki would have been coming to him over the past 3 years for maintenance.
True.
So he's just cap. I feel like he saw omnipotence happen. He saw everything because he has all those data files. It's just he has no reason to act against Kawaki because Kawaki, he needs Kawaki. He's not gonna go tell Shikamaru, yeah, Naruto's still alive. No, and he knows Naruto's still alive.
And he knows Ada's abilities, so he should be able to put one together.
Exactly.
So yeah. Oh snap! I took off the screen share. There was another panel as well that I peeped across, and it has Amato's daughter. Let me go back up. I think it's up here.
I think it's 26.
20, dang, I'm going up too fast. 26. Okay, so what is this about here? Okay, let me read it right now. Blah, blah, blah. I've already told you if you gain more power, your body won't hold. Before you're able to fight him, you'll ruin yourself. Oh, so he's talking about Kawaki. So this is from here. Oh, they left off from when he was choking him. Because he just came into the battlefield to help Boruto. Okay.
Yeah, so if you go back to the previous chapter.
Yeah.
Not chapter, the previous page on top of that.
Oh.
Where they're watching. He wants more power. So when Amado refuses, he holds him up again, and then he talks about Akemi. Like if he wants his help for Akemi, he has to give him more power. That's why we get the little Akemi scene. Because it's to remind everyone that Amado has to do this because Kawaki won't give her a karma if Amado doesn't power him up.
Got you. And my question for you is, do you think that Akemi is going to be a Otsutsuki?
I feel like she will. I 100% feel like she will.
What's your reason?
I feel like Amado is playing with things he doesn't understand.
I said the same thing.
I think
trying to play God.
I think he's a bumbling idiot in that regard. I don't think he has more like grandiose plans. I think he's just messing everything up and messing with things that'll just make things worse. I think she will come back. I just think she'll come back as an Otsutsuki. But the problem is, now that we have an Otsutsuki running around, we have another candidate for a divine tree. And now you have an Otsutsuki who doesn't have any means of defending herself. And I feel like that's the main strategy. Either that, or he messes up and he revives someone else, which I think would be hilarious.
You ever seen the movie? I brought this up prior in a different podcast, but Blood Prisoner.
Yes, when the dude wanted to bring his son back and he brought back the demon. I forget the dude's name, but Gamabunta talked about it.
Whoa, you remember his name?
The Toad. Gamabunta talked about it. I don't remember the dude's demon's name, but hang on, let me look at it. Satori. Yeah, Satori. And then
him.
He basically brought him back instead of his son. That's exactly perfect analogy, 1-to-1. I feel like he's just messing with things he doesn't understand. And he'll either bring back some like ancient Otsutsuki, or he'll just create another problem to where now you have another Otsutsuki running around, and now you can get another divine tree.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's see here. I was trying to find a video clip so people can see if they've never seen Blood Prison. How you spell his name?
Satori.
ORI. Oh, this is the fucking full fight. That's not what I want.
Which is interesting because Satori was around the time of the Stage of Six Paths, is what they say. So that's actually really interesting.
Yeah. Do you know his dad's name?
Hang on.
Never mind. You good. I got it. I'm only gonna play a little bit of it because it's gonna I'm gonna get copyright, but this is basically it. Hold on. Should have said. All right, back. So this is it right here. This is basically what we're talking about from Blood Prison. It's like 1-to-1 with Amino wanting to bring his daughter back after she died. But yeah, let's watch. Hold on.
フラグが羽振って
So like right here, he's using what is it like a gate, like as a sealing jutsu or something like that.
Yeah, so he's unsealing the box.
Yeah, the box of the dead or something like that, right?
Yeah, I think it was called in the dub the Box of Bliss.
The box of bliss.
Yeah, or something else. And then they used Kurama's chakra to open it.
Mm-hmm.
Then it released Satori.
All right, hold on, let's see.
門そのものだったのかよ箱よ今こそ開きたまえどうか無垢に合わせたまえ何よしまようとか無い
All right, we can skip all this real quick, because it's gonna give me copyright struck. But yeah, this is when he opens the seal, and this is his son that he brought back to life. Bro, his name was Mupu. That's his dad right there. So like he comes back to life and he kills his dad. Right then and there. Well, he doesn't kill him. I don't want to ruin the movie for nobody who haven't seen it, but check that out.
Yeah, I definitely recommend they watch it.
Yeah, it's a dope movie. Check out Blood Prison if you haven't seen
Which I
it.
really miss
Like,
that they don't do like movies like this with Boruto.
For real.
Or even
for
just
real.
like manga movies. They're like how My Hero or like Demon Slayer are doing. I feel like it's a really missed opportunity. That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, I think they should. One thing that I think they should do is the Omnipotence movie.
I
The
agree.
Omnipotence Heart movie. I think that would be a great
I feel
movie.
like they'd have to add some stuff in it because I feel like people wouldn't want like a whole talking movie. People like fight scenes, unfortunately. I do feel like they would have to change it a slight bit.
Yeah,
Actually, if they
what-
expand the Kawaki fight, I feel like it works.
And what they can do is they can give us like a cliffhanger with him and Sasuke training.
100%.
Like where they get to the point where he says that he learned everything as far as the Uchiha style, and then ended off with them fighting Code, and then we can start TBV after that instead of having to go through part 2 and watching that. Even though they going to reanimate it anyways, but still.
100%. Hey, it was nice talking. I gotta get going. The pleasure
You're
as
absolutely
always.
fine, my man. You're absolutely fine. You're always welcome on. And everybody, thank you for joining us. Big shout out to Ryzen. You guys are going to see him on the stream more often. Thank you for Antonio. Shit, my eyes is gone. Antonio Bookman for the 2 donations. One for $5 and one for $2. We appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, of course. And yeah, we'll hit y'all with another one. Peace out.
Hey, I'll see you later.